Wow, wow, wow. Take a look at this behind me. Welcome to Budapest, the capital of Hungary. In this video, I'll be showing you around this wonderful city, along with some things to see and do, maybe a little bit of history and some hidden gems along the way. Anyway, let's get started. It's yet again another stupid early start, but for those of you who are eagle-eyed, you will be able to see the silhouette of the Hungarian Parliament Building. But first, we're going to be heading for something special over that way.
So before we get started on exploring the city, I have quite the special morning surprise in mind. It involved walking 1 hour along the banks of the famous Danube. And then, you probably guessed it, climbing up a hill.
And so the climb begins.
So, in a race against the sun, we head up Gellért Hill, where hopefully we'll get some amazing views.
Oh, you've got to be bloody joking me.
The fortress is closed, but fortunately, one last mad dash around and we find an even better spot. The sun rises as the city begins to come to life. A warm glow reflects on the surface of the Danube, which separates the two historic halves of the city, with Buda on the left and Pest on the right. And above, the Citadella, a mid-19th century fortress, offers incredible views over the city. Though perhaps most impressive, a large 14-metre tall bronze statue of a woman holding a palm leaf dominates the skyline of the city.
Well, there we are. What a way to start the adventure. Some incredible views over Budapest, and just here we've got this incredible Soviet-looking statue, which is the Freedom Monument, which apparently was put up in 1947 to commemorate the Red Army's victory over Nazi Germany, and it towers over the city. But unfortunately, the Citadel, which is the fortress on top of the hill here, is undergoing restoration. Maybe that'll be done in summer or something like that, which is a little bit of a shame. But as I said, it's still early, we've got plenty of things to take off, so let's carry on.
Moving on, we head back down the hill past this cool monument in the direction of Buda Castle. After a 10-minute stroll, we arrive to the gardens, welcomed by delightful Renaissance architecture from the late 19th century. On our way to one particular thing I'm drawn to see. Almost there, we skirt around the edges of the castle walls, which would have no doubt been repaired since extensive damages from World War II. In fact, the siege of Budapest in 1945 ended with Nazi forces retreating to Buda Castle, destroying all the bridges on their way to where they would have their last stand. There really is something staggering about these photos.
So just here is the building that I was showing you in black and white, obviously pretty much destroyed after the Second World War, so it's lovely that it's all been restored. And I think just up here we can make our way up into the castle courtyard. I'm hoping for free because I'm not too interested in going inside. There's one thing outside which looks pretty nice, so let's head up there. Here it is.
Welcome to the Fountain of King Matthias, where you just have to imagine the water flowing down it. But seriously, it actually is a pretty cool spot, which depicts King Matthias from the 15th century on a royal hunt. It's a spot that I definitely recommend adding to your checklist. And, if you're a tad superstitious, you can even rub this dog's foot for good luck. Who knows, it might even turn the water on.
And I've just popped out the front as well, and it's quite lovely here too, as you can see. So even if you're not interested in going inside like me to see the museum and the galleries and that sort of thing, it's definitely worth just coming around here and exploring this for free too. And there's also some lovely views behind me.
There certainly is, and actually our next destination is in clear sight. But before we move on though, it's probably worth me mentioning that there is a cool old funicular that can take you up the small hill to the castle. However, it is expensive at around £10 for a return ticket, for what is probably only a 10-minute walk. So if you're not bothered about the novelty of the funicular and want to save money, just walk.
Alright, now we're just walking along the riverside here, and the plan was to go inside the Hungarian Parliament Building there, which we saw at the start. Unfortunately, there's no tickets left for it over the next 2 days. It's all sold out, and it's probably for the best. Now let me tell you, the price is ludicrous. It's about £27 for one person to enter inside. Unless you're from an EU or an EEA country, which is most of Europe, you can get in for half of that price, about £13, 14, 15 euros, something like that, which isn't too bad, but it does look stunning, so check it out on Google. Obviously I can't take you inside. And just while we're here, we've also got these really cool little quirky figures here.
There are numerous of these little bronze figures dotted across Budapest, so it's just an extra little something that's worth keeping an eye out for as you explore the city. And finally, look what we found. A little cute Paddington bear. How sweet, eh? Anyway, if you want to find these yourself, I'll link a website, which we used, down below. And yeah, I'm going to go for a nap, because I am bloody shattered. It's been a long morning already, it's around 10 o'clock. Let's go for a little nap, Paddington.
Oh, I tell you what, that 2-hour nap is just what I needed anyway. I've just crossed the river, and behind us we've got the severely overpriced Hungarian Parliament Building, which we'll have a little look around, and then we've got a few more things to tick off, and we've got the perfect morning set for tomorrow, so make sure you stick around.
Thankfully, you don't need to go inside to appreciate the magnificence of this structure. Perched on the Danube, it is proudly the largest building in Hungary. Upon approaching from the north, a glowing limestone monument is contrasted with dark and stern figures. And then, following the front facade, it is not difficult to be wowed by Gothic grandeur and sensational symmetry. Limestone steps blend into charming archways all the way up to splendid spires, with magnificent detail in between. Moving down to the south wing, while gazing up in awe, I find an incredible statue of a former Prime Minister on horseback. It glows in the sporadic sunshine and has wonderfully intricate scenes set on both sides. It's probably no surprise that apparently this one is a tourist favourite. Though unfortunately, not everything on the bank of the Danube is so glorious. Just 100 metres or so away, a stretch of the riverside path is scattered with 60 or so pairs of cast iron shoes. It pays tribute to the Jews who were mercilessly murdered and left to float away down the river. But first, were often forced to remove their shoes as a valuable item that could be stolen. As the fascist Arrow Cross Party were appointed in October 1944, raiding the streets to beat, plunder and kill Jews publicly became commonplace. Not only that, death marches to concentration or labour camps in Austria also killed thousands. Sadly, this monument is also a wider symbol of undeniable brutality, which happened not only in Hungary, but throughout Europe on an incomprehensible scale. On a lighter note, we carry on along the riverside when I saw something I never expected. Budapest's rare breed of flying jellyfish. And then, strangely enough, I bumped into a fellow English friend, William Shakespeare. Now, if you're wondering why he's here, he actually used to love drinking in this Starbucks, and his favourite drink was a caramelised latte. Finally, before a long day is drawn to a close, we have a quick explore around an Easter market, which mainly consisted of borderline outrageously priced food. Right, now there's been a little bit of a change of plan. I was going to go and check out inside the Basilica, but I've left it a little bit late because I was somewhere, and I'm not going to tell you where I was because you'll tell me off. But I've just bumped into this lovely little Easter market, but it's like £15 for a hot dog, like a sausage in a bun. Mental, what is going on? But yeah, I'll stop waffling, and I'll see you tomorrow. We've got some lovely things planned. See you tomorrow. Day 2 is another horribly early start, but as you know, they are always worth it. I arrived to one of the most incredible spots in Budapest, and of course you know what it means when you arrive at 6 AM. No people. Wrong. Apparently about 50 other people had the same idea. Though thankfully, once they all done their photo shoots, 30 minutes later I had the Fisherman's Bastion pretty much to myself. It's a relatively modern early 1900s stone development, from earlier parts of fortress walls which were said to be defended by a fisherman's guild. However, it's something more alike of a fairy tale. With its gleaming white stone, picturesque towers, and staircases which could belong in a Harry Potter film set. It really was the most incredible start to the day. And I'd strongly recommend that you visit early in the morning to beat the crowds too. Honestly, just what a spot this is. But what was surprising was how many people were here when I arrived at 6 AM, you know. But funnily enough, everyone's got their photos and everyone's buggered off. But also, there is an entry fee. It was only like €2 or €3 or something. But the barriers were just left open, so I'm guessing if you come before it's, before it opens, you can just come in for free, which is great. But now we're going to be heading somewhere that's even more iconic. I'll see you there. Right, now do not even expect me to try and pronounce the name of this place, but I've just arrived to the most famous thermal spa in Budapest, something it's iconic for, it's not, I don't even know it, does it? But anyway, you get what I'm saying. I've just arrived, got my early bird ticket before 9 AM, cost about 17 quid, about 18, 19 with a locker. But yeah, gonna chill out for a little bit, for a few hours, and I'll see you in a little bit. I might show you a little bit of it, maybe, but I might just chill out as well and enjoy it myself. Adios. It was lovely and quiet at 8 AM, and while I'm only going to show you a small part of it, it really was lovely. There are plenty of indoor pools and saunas as well as the usual 3 outside too. Though, as you can imagine, fast forward a few hours and the place was far busier, so as usual I'd recommend getting the early bird ticket before 9 AM to avoid the crowds if you can. Despite that, it was gorgeous in the midday sun, and it made for a lovely change having a few hours break from the non-stop exploring and putting a camera in front of my face. And just a quick little tip too, take your own flip-flops and a towel to avoid having to pay for them. Unfortunately, flip-flops are compulsory. Also, you can do a Saturday night party version at the thermal spa if that's your thing. I'll leave a link for that in my description and comments, along with links for other things, like entry into the Basilica and viewing terrace and an evening cruise along the Danube, which we really wanted to do but unfortunately just didn't have the time. So check out the links in the description I've left for all those experiences. Continuing our adventure in Budapest, we luckily stumble upon Vajdahunyad Castle, just a 2-minute walk away from the thermal spa. It's surprisingly modern for its appearance, and was actually built in 1896 as an architectural showpiece for different styles of architecture throughout Hungary's history. It honestly looked incredible in the sun, and considering you can just wander in for free, I'd strongly recommend it. From there, it's a short walk to Heroes Square, which is dominated by a huge 36-metre tall monument. The centrepiece is 7 figures who were chiefs of 7 different clans, who are credited as establishing Hungary over 1,000 years ago. Either side are 2 huge semicircle colonnades, both sporting 7 impressively detailed historical figures. And standing atop both grand limestone structures are 2 incredible chariots which symbolise war and peace. And finally, we round off our time in Budapest with the incredible St. Stephen's Basilica.
Tell you what a place to finish off. St. Stephen's Basilica, right behind me there, it looks absolutely incredible. It's one of those things that you just can't seem to do it justice on camera, but it looks incredible. And I did plan to go inside, but you know what, I'm going to be honest with you, I can't be bothered. So, you just have to come and see it for yourself. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it interesting. Leave some comments below and a thumbs up and click subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Thank you for joining me, as always. Adios.